Hey there gang, I'm here again with my friend Nico, and we want to talk about kind of what I think of as a next really important step when it comes to beginning your in-hand work, and that, I know, I'm trying to tell them, and that's your Reinback and your half-halts. So we talk about unlocking the pole. That's going to be our first piece there. And then from there, we want to talk about Reinback. And the reason that I want to talk about that is because the Reinback is, I think, one of the best ways to access the balancing muscles of the horse. You could call them the stabilizers or the intrinsic muscles. They're the muscles that help the horse find balance. And those are different in activity than those muscles that are just moving our horse forward. When you were unlocking the pole, you may have found that your horse needed to step forward some, needed to move. When we want to help make adjustments or corrections, we're wanting to ask our horses to rebalance. And I think of the Reinback as the ultimate rebalancing gait. I think of Reinback as a gait, not necessarily a movement. It's just a gait that we don't use very often. So the way that I'm going to think about this, when I ask Nico to Reinback, there's going to be a couple things that are going to come into play. Number one, I want to think about the stability in my body. I don't want to be pushing or shoving on him. I want to be a point of reference. I want to be like one of the classical pillars that you'll see maybe at the Spanish riding school. Horses being worked between the pillars. The pillars never pull, and the pillars never push. The pillars are a point of reference. Okay, so that's how I want to feel within my body here, is that I'm stable as a point of reference. Another thing that I want then, because of that, is I want to feel that Nico is the one deciding to step backwards. Okay, so I'll put a little bit of a feel down his spine toward his tail. First, I'm going to say, hey, can you focus on me? He's thinking about something outside of the arena. So I'll play a little with that releasing the pole idea to say, hey, can you think about me? And then my intention from my body is as though I'm walking back past his tail. And you see that he starts to feel off of that, and he goes into that Reinback because he understands this fairly well. Okay. Good. Okay, I like to put the stick on to initiate the halt there to help him to ground. Now, when you first ask your horse to Reinback, there may be more resistance. You may feel that based on their understanding or misunderstanding of a suggestion for that they start to kind of pile up into your hand. When that happens, I do my best to simply ground myself and wait. A lot of times there's that waiting moment. One of the things that I like to think about is if you were to stand on one foot with the other foot up in the air, you'll feel in your body kind of the wiggle where your body's balancing. Those are the same muscles that we're looking to access in our horse's body when we're initiating the Reinback. So what I want to feel is when I begin to ask for the Reinback, I'm not necessarily looking for his feet to travel backwards to begin with. Here we release the pole, we get the focus back here. I want to feel, can I feel that spot right there, where the muscles get ready before the body even makes the change, okay? Before the feet take the step. And to begin with, and I'll exaggerate here, but to begin with, when I start to feel that shifting, that's when I'm going to maybe even completely release my contact, okay? There. Oh, I know. Good job. Come back to me. So I'll just ask to release in the pole when he's distracted. There. And then I think again, there, about the Reinback. I think about I'm going to step this way. I'm going to go for a walk and I want him to be with me. And you see here, with my intention, I can keep my hand open and just continue going here, okay? Because again, I can inspire the Reinback, but it's his job to actually do the Reinback, okay? I'm going to step him forward here, and we're going to talk about some of the other pieces that are in the Reinback that we want to begin thinking about. So I like to think about it as though the Reinback has 6 elements to it. The haunches will sit, the withers will lift, the top line will round, the feet will diagonalize, they'll take several consecutive steps, and they'll stay extremely light to the aids because they're in self-carriage. all of those things together would amount to a good Reinback. Okay? Now, that may take quite a bit of time for your horse as far as developing the understanding and developing the proper muscles so that they can carry themselves into the Reinback efficiently in that way. One of the things that I might do, if I've got a horse that's understanding the idea of the Reinback, but I feel like they could use a little help with the haunches sitting, I might touch a bit on top of the hip. And you see again, when we do this, you see Nico's top line releasing and rounding more. As they begin to sit down behind and use their back and their top line better, that natural roundness comes in there. Send him forward here again. So there's a moment right there where he got a little forward into the hand, and this is where the Reinback pays off into your half-halt idea. The half-halt is rebalancing. The Reinback is, as we said, it's the ultimate gait of rebalancing. So the half-halt is the rebalance in motion. And we can also say that when we're here at the halt and we're accessing those muscles before the body steps back, that's the half-halt within the halt, okay? So as your horse gets more understanding and more clear about the Reinback, the half-halts are going to be pretty naturally occurring. But it's going to come from you stabilizing your body, again, as the point of reference, okay? So we'll ask Nico again here to shape up into the Reinback. We think about that through my intention. And now I'll say, can you step a little more here, a little rounder in your hip? I might even here lift just a little bit on the nose, and there we see the top line coming in a little better shape. Now, you'll notice he came off the fence, okay? That can happen if a horse is not balancing properly, if they're not balancing properly and carrying themselves through evenly in their legs. If they're unlocked equally through all four legs, the Reinback will be, most of the time, pretty straight. When you're first starting this with your horse, don't be afraid to use the fence as a point of reference, but you don't need the fence as a point of reference. So long as you've got a focus of where you're going and where you're asking your horse to go, you'll be able to tell if they're deviating from straight or not. One of the things that I won't do is try to fix a crooked Reinback, okay? Because then that changes the question. What I want to do generally is Reinback until they start to find more straightness, and then I'll allow them to halt. So again, they're finding the unlocking of their body, they're finding the equal diagonalization, and I'm not forcing it. I think that's a really important piece for us. Nico to step forward here, and I'm going to think about the half-halt. I'm going to try to exaggerate so that you can tell what's happening. So if I've no contact on the line, and then I close the contact and slow my feet. Here he pushed into me, so I'm going to say, hey, let's rein back because you missed that. He didn't feel my body into the half-halt. So the half-halt is just me simply saying, get ready to rein back. I'll ask him to come forward, and now I'll say, get ready to rein back. Back again. At any point when they don't follow the half-halt, I like to carry it into a rein back. So I say here, half-halt, there we get a rebalance. Depending on your horse's natural state of balance and even natural state of tension, this may take quite a bit of work. I want to feel, if I hesitate, that he rebalances as we do, or as I do. So I hesitate, there. And the rounding, the releasing in the pole and the top line is really going to be an important piece of this. As we develop this with our horses, the half-halts, the rebalancing is going to start to eventually come into what we'd call collection. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go visit with Tyler and one of her horses, and we're going to talk about the Reinback and the half-halts with her. All right, so here we have Tyler and her pony Gia, and she's going to be working on the Reinback here. We're going to touch base with that. So whenever you're ready, Tyler, think about really your stability in your body. You're that point of reference. You're that pillar. The intention, yeah, there you go. And we'll find every little moment that she prepares, we'll release. Yeah, and I love how she's extending more through the top line right here as we go. Nice. And what we'll tend to see, there we go, what we'll tend to see is that sometimes our horses will have a broken diagonal pair. So she started out really good with the right front and the left hind as a diagonal moving pair of legs, but the left front and the right hind were a little de-diagonalized, maybe we'll say. They were a little bit out of sync, but as she went into that started to improve. So when we talk about those 6 pieces of the Reinback that are so important, those develop, right? Those grow into the Reinback as the horse gets stronger and more understanding of the Reinback. So this is pretty nice here, and whenever you're ready, we'll maybe ask her to go again. Yeah, and so Tyler's right hand is focused on, can we release in the pole? Her torso, her core is focused on, can I set my intention of stepping backwards? There, and there she brought a little focus to Gia's back and haunches by touching with the whip. And you see she's not using an in-hand whip. Her pony's a little bit smaller than what Nico was, so she's able to get by with the dressage whip here, and that's totally fine too. Nice job, Tyler. So there, as she was ready to halt, she stabilized with the whip and her core at the same time. Good. And so now what we're going to do then, Tyler, is we're going to go into Reinback again a few steps, and then come forward and play the half-halt. So as you're drawing her forward, pause a moment and then continue again. And if she's feeling well off of you through the Reinback, and if she's connecting kind of to your intention, you should feel that she hesitates when you hesitate. Yeah, there we see her feet diagonal pretty well. That's much nicer. And you notice that when they do, we get a much smoother, more fluid rhythm into the Reinback. So we draw her forward now, and at any moment in there, ask for, yeah, a little half-halt. And you want to feel, ideally, you want to feel that the hind feet reorganize or get better organized when we, there you go, when we ask for that half-halt. Nice. And then a full halt there. Good. Yep, and then a couple steps back, absolutely, because there she sort of pushed a little through your intention, which when we're getting started with this idea, that's pretty common. And so we just keep re-suggesting the question to our horse. So the Reinback, as we do this, or in the way that we do this, I should say, the Reinback really touches base with all of the muscles that the horse needs to carry themselves forward in balance, because it's those intrinsic muscles, the stabilizer muscles. And oftentimes I'll joke that if we have 30 minutes to work with our horse and we don't do 47 different Reinbacks, that we just wasted our time. And of course that's a joke, but the Reinback is so important. It's something that I feel like we can probably never do enough of when it comes to helping our horse find balance and the relaxation then in the body. And some riders will say, yeah, well, my horse evades by going backwards. That's different than a Reinback, okay? You'll see a horse that's evading, generally speaking, the head comes up, the back drops down, the hips get bracy. If your horse tries to rein back that way, we just say, no, 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 we're gonna unlock the pole. Everything starts back again with unlocking the pole, getting the access to that top line, letting them breathe for a moment, and then reintegrating the rein back into that. If they're backing with the head up and the legs braced, that's no good for the horse. It's when they're soft and round through the top line that they can release all the joints in the body and come backwards in a fluid movement that's going to be supportive of those balancing muscles as they go. So We hope this has been helpful for you and your horse, and we hope that you're enjoying your journey together.